Some addresses are bad news. Orders with ridiculously high delivery fees. No matter how much they pay, don't touch them. That money isn't extra cash. It's blood money. My name is Wu Yu from Suzhou. In my family's lineage I'm ranked 13th, so those who know me call me Wu 13. Just hearing the name, you can probably guess my parents hoped I'd live a smooth, peaceful life. But human plans can't outsmart fate, and things don't always go as wished. I'm in my early 30s working as a courier. A lot of people look down on this job, thinking we brave wind and rain, work ourselves to the bone and still get chewed out. I don't care. I take pride in doing my job diligently, earning an honest living. Every day, I start deliveries at 7 a.m. and clock out at 7 p.m., rain or shine. After work, I usually grab a couple of drinks with old Xia, and life's pretty decent. Old Xia is our store manager and overseer, a Sichuanese guy who handles everything at the shop. But this guy's a master of half-assing his actual work while meddling in everything else. Delivering packages keeps us busy enough, yet he somehow finds time to sneak off and deliver food on the side. I don't know what's going on in that head of his. This year, during the Cold Food Festival, it was nearing 7 p.m. when I finished work and returned to the shop, planning to grab old Xia for a drink. As soon as I walked in, I bumped right into him. He was holding his car keys and a takeout order, clearly about to head out for his side hustle. As an employee, I couldn't exactly call out the boss, so I just gave him a smile. Big mistake, that smile got me into trouble. Little Wu, got any plans tonight? Old Xia sidled up, lowering his voice mysteriously. I was worried he'd drag me into delivering food again, so I quickly said I was busy. Busy? Old Xia's face twisted into a troubled look, his fingers nervously fiddling with his keys. Real busy or fake busy? Drinking doesn't count. At that point I couldn't keep dodging. Nothing major, but old Xia, I'm really not into delivering food. Courier work keeps me busy enough. Old Xia tilted his head and shot back. Who said anything about food delivery? I froze, caught off guard, thinking to myself, as long as it's not food delivery, I'm good. Feeling a bit relieved, I was blindsided when old Xia pointed to a package in the corner. There's a big one nobody's taken. Deliver it for me. The address is number 37 Lin Family Lane, over on Wunning Road. Recipient's name is Yi Xianghua. The address sounded vaguely familiar, but I couldn't place it. With the sky darkening and the city getting noisy, I hesitated, wondering if I should ask old Xia to find someone else. But in that moment of hesitation, old Xia was already at his car, turning back to pat my shoulder. Little Wu, I know you've been working hard. The company's got a lot going on. Just this one delivery. If you've got time, take care of it. At the end of the year, I'll give you a raise. Deal. I muttered to myself, it's only April. Year-end is a long way off. Who knows if you'll even remember this? So I quietly asked, how much of a raise? Old Xia grinned, his face wrinkling like a Shar-Pei. 500. Wunning Road isn't far from the shop, maybe 10 kilometers. On my electric tricycle, it'd take half an hour round trip tops. It wouldn't delay my drinking plans, and an extra 500 yuan a month would mean I could upgrade from 16 yuan yellow crane tower cigarettes to maybe a pack of Furongwang. With that in mind, I reluctantly agreed. I hauled the heavy package, easily 100 pounds, onto my tricycle. Starving and debating whether to eat first or deliver, old Xia's car pulled back up. He rolled down the window and with a dead serious look asked, Little Wu, is your fate strong? He chuckled after asking, but his smile was creepy, all skin and no heart, wrinkles bunching up unnaturally. What did delivering a package have to do with fate? I was about to snap back when old Xia spoke again. 500's a bit low. Fine, I'll add another 500. It'll kick in next month, no need to wait for year-end. I was dumbfounded. In just a few minutes my salary had jumped 1,000 yuan. Maybe old Xia, usually such a cheapskate, was having a rare moment of generosity. Before I could think it through, he floored it and left. I rode my tricycle to a nearby street, grabbed some food at a random shop, and ran into old Zhang. We weren't close, so I just nodded at him. After eating, I returned to the shop and old Zhang followed. When I started my tricycle to head out, he was still tailing me. I stopped at the gate, curious if he was watching me. Sure enough, he came out, looking awkward when he saw me waiting. "Why haven't you left yet?" he asked quietly. "Old Jong, why are you following me?" I shot back. He hesitated, then leaned in, whispering, "Brother, I heard you're delivering to number 37 Lin Family Lane." I nodded, a bad feeling creeping in. "Brother, is number 37 Lin Family Lane a place you can just go to?" Old Jang's face twisted, like he was recalling something awful. "You've been at the shop a while, but there's stuff you don't know. Think about it. Have you ever seen anyone deliver to Lin Family Lane?" I thought hard. Our delivery range is usually 5 or 6 kilometers, and Lin Family Lane is a bit far, but not that far. Maybe people just didn't want the hassle. Seeing I wasn't responding, Old Jong pressed on. "You can't deliver to Lin Family Lane. Listen to me, let Old Sia handle it himself. What's the big deal? Just a delivery. What, is it gonna kill me?" I asked, skeptical. Old Jong gave a bitter laugh, his voice trembling slightly. "Over the years, the shop sent 4 people to deliver to Lin Family Lane. Not one came back." I was speechless. Maybe they just couldn't handle the job and quit? Quit? Old Jang's voice rose. "Gone without a trace, dead or alive. You call that quitting?" I didn't know what to say. Old Jong glanced around, leaned closer and whispered, "This isn't something you'd hear about. Every time something happened, Old Sia claimed they quit and disappeared, washing his hands of it. The police investigated a few times, found nothing, and the cases are still unsolved." The more I listened, the more absurd it sounded. For people vanishing into thin air? Old Jong rarely showed up at the shop, especially when Old Sia was around. Rumor had it they were partners who didn't get along. Was he stirring up trouble to sabotage the business? Old Jong must have sensed my doubt. He patted the package on my tricycle and asked meaningfully, "Don't you want to know what's in this box?" I shook my head quickly. There are rules in this job. Opening packages isn't just against policy. It's illegal. Old Jong deflated, pulling out a pack of Furongwang cigarettes and offering me one. He lit his own, looking worried. "Brother, that's all I'll say. Go or don't go, but be careful." After finishing the cigarette, I gritted my teeth and hopped on my tricycle. Old Jong was probably exaggerating. If someone really died, wouldn't the police do something? I glanced back at him, and under the dim light, his face seemed to carry a faint, unsettling smile. When I looked again, he turned and walked back into the shop. Watching his back, I felt a pang of pity. The shop was supposedly co-owned by Old Jong and Old Sia, but Old Sia never mentioned him in meetings, and Old Jong only showed up at night when the shop was quiet. Most employees didn't even know him. I only knew him by chance. He wasn't much of a talker, not sharp like Old Sia. It was obvious who was making money and who was getting screwed in their partnership. Now Old Jong was coming to me with this wild story, probably trying to fight back in his clumsy way. If he hadn't said anything, I'd have sided with Old Sia without question. But his serious demeanor, combined with the nagging familiarity of number 37 Lin Family Lane, left me with a bad feeling. My tricycle soon reached Wunning Road. The area was sparsely populated, with barely anyone on the street. I searched for number 37 Lin Family Lane but couldn't find it. After circling for half an hour, I tried my phone's GPS. To my shock, Wunning Road had no such address. Maybe the sender wrote it wrong. A common issue. The solution was simple. Call and confirm. I checked the shipping label and froze. The sender's field was blank. But thankfully, the recipient's phone number was listed. I dialed it, and a man's raspy voice answered. "Hello." Clearing my throat, I said, "Hello, you have a package to sign for. I'm on Wunning Road, but I can't find number 37 Lin Family Lane. Could you come out and pick it up?" "What kind of courier can't find an address?" he snapped, hanging up with a bang. I swallowed my anger. Getting cursed out is part of the job, as long as they don't file a complaint. While I was stressing over the address, an old man approached. He looked ragged, almost like a beggar, his face creased with deep wrinkles and a half-smile. "Young man, what time is it?" he asked, eyeing me. I checked my phone. A little past 8. How much passed? I was annoyed but answered patiently. 8 minutes passed. Good kid. Mind lending me a light? He pulled out a crumpled cigarette, barely holding together, and stuck it in his mouth, waiting. I'm a patient guy, so I lit it for him. He didn't even shield the flame, which irritated me more. He just stood there, not inhaling, while I held the lighter until it burned my hand. Sir, take a puff. I snapped. He finally sucked in, lighting the cigarette, and gave a dry chuckle without a hint of embarrassment. 8 minutes past 8, and you're wandering around alone? I pointed to the package on my tricycle, not in the mood to chat. He nodded, maybe understanding, maybe not. After he finished his smoke, I figured I'd ask him about the address. Sir, do you know where number 37 Lin Family Lane is? He coughed, tossed the cigarette butt, and suddenly seemed more alert. Young man, what are you doing going to number 37 Lin Family Lane? I'm a courier. Just delivering a package, I replied, growing impatient. He fell silent for a while before saying, leave the package here and go. I wondered if he was Yi Xianghua, the recipient. Just then my phone rang. A different number. I ignored the old man and answered. A woman's voice came through. Hello, are you the courier? Yes, I said reflexively. You said you're on Wanning Road, right? Yeah, but I can't find number 37 Lin Family Lane. Are you standing in the middle of the road? I started to say I was on the side, but a glance around made my blood run cold. I was in the middle of the road, tricycle and all, despite clearly remembering parking on the curb. Hello. The woman's voice snapped me back. Yeah, I stammered. Look to your right. I'm here. I turned stiffly and saw a woman in white waving from the roadside. I rode over quickly. She was pretty with a gentle, delicate air. I verified her phone number, unloaded the package, and was about to leave when she stopped me. Little brother, could you help me carry it over there? The package was heavy, and she didn't look strong enough to manage it. I hoisted it onto my shoulder, and she led the way. I was curious about this elusive address, but to my shock, number 37 Lin Family Lane was right by the road, clearly marked with a sign. I must have been blind to miss it. At the entrance she thanked me and said, just leave it here. I wanted to offer to carry it inside, since she couldn't move it herself, but I just mumbled, okay. Dropped the package and headed back to my tricycle. She called out again. Little brother, she said, looking concerned. You seem nice. Have you not been resting well? You don't look too good. I was confused. I'm fine, full of energy. Why do you ask? She glanced at the road. You were standing in the middle of the street, muttering to yourself. What were you saying? I turned to look at the road, a chill running down my spine. Muttering? I was talking to an old man smoking a cigarette. What old man? I didn't see anyone, she said, puzzled. I watched you for a while, muttering alone, playing with a lighter. You weren't even smoking. Cold sweat poured off me. The street was empty, no old man, no nothing. I turned to ask her more, but she was gone. The whole of Wanning Road was pitch black, with only a few dim streetlights casting eerie shadows. The silence was deafening, broken only by my pounding heartbeat. Then my phone blared its obnoxious ringtone. Today's a good day, everything you wish comes true. Nearly scaring me to death. I cursed myself for ever choosing that tone. Fumbling for my phone, I answered without checking the caller. Hello? You seen a ghost or what? A raspy male voice said, sounding familiar. The word ghost made me scan the dark corners. Swallowing hard, I managed. Who's this? Aren't you the courier? Where are you? The voice was impatient. My head cleared a bit. Sounded like Yi Xianghua. I'm the courier, I said, trying to stay calm. The package was already picked up. Talk to your family and sort it out. Don't keep calling me. This kind of mix-up, family members not coordinating, happens often. I was about to hang up when he shouted, Picked up? I didn't pick up anything. Maybe your wife or daughter took it. Call them, I said, ready to end the call. Don't hang up, he yelled, his voice trembling. You're saying a woman picked it up? Yeah, I replied. He broke down, muttering. It's over, it's all over. I was baffled but too spooked to care. The name and number matched. If there was an issue, the woman would contact me. Relieved, I hopped on my tricycle and sped back to the shop, not wanting to stay a second longer. Oddly, the old man had asked me the time, 8:08 p.m. Even with delays, it should have been 9 p.m. at most. But when I checked my phone near the shop, it was past 11 p.m. I chalked it up to being too scared to notice time passing. Back at the shop, old Zhang saw me and said, "You're back," his face unreadable. Before I could respond, he stood slowly, looking exhausted, and pinched my arm, then patted my face as if confirming something. He sighed in relief. I was creeped out by his actions and stepped back. He stared at me and asked, "The recipient was a man, right?" My heart sank, but I thought maybe Yisiengua was a woman's name. Does it matter? The name and number matched. Old Zhang's face darkened. "It matters a lot," he growled. I thought he was overreacting. Even if I delivered to the wrong person, I could retrieve it tomorrow and apologize. But old Zhang's next words chilled me to the bone. "You don't know. The 4 couriers who went to Lin Family Lane all met a woman claiming to be the recipient. Name and number matched. She wore white, looked gentle and delicate." My back broke out in cold sweat. His description was exactly the woman I'd met, down to the words I'd used in my head. "Brother, you're in trouble," old Zhang said, pained. "I told you not to go." His words snapped me out of it. "You said those 4 never came back, but here I am, fine." I raised my voice, partly to convince myself. Old Zhang frowned, puzzled. "Yeah, how did you make it back?" He grabbed my shoulders. "Who are you? What's your name?" I rolled my eyes. "Old Zhang, it's Wu Yu. Don't you know me?" He ignored me, muttering to himself. I suddenly realized something. If those 4 couriers never returned, how did old Zhang know they'd met a woman in white? Before I could ask, he snapped out of it and asked, "Did the woman ask you the time?" "No," I said quickly, feeling smug. But then my stomach dropped. "She didn't, but an old man did." "Who?" Old Zhang pressed. "Some scruffy old guy, appeared out of nowhere. If anyone's trouble, it's him." Old Zhang's eyes widened. "You answered him?" "Yeah," I said, annoyed by his interrogation. 8 minutes past 8. I grabbed a beer from the corner, popped it open, and took a swig to calm my nerves. Old Zhang's voice shot up. "Brother, you're doomed. Those 2 are in cahoots, luring you into a trap." The words "dirty things" made me choke on my beer. I tried to explain that the woman and the old man couldn't be connected. She'd even said she didn't see him. But old Zhang wouldn't listen. He insisted I'd been cursed and offered to introduce me to a Taoist priest to exorcise it. If he weren't a courier, I'd have thought he was a scam artist. I ignored him and went home, full of questions but too tired to deal. What I didn't expect was someone waiting for me at home. The door was slightly ajar, and my first thought was a thief. I crept in, ready to catch them, but froze when I saw old Xie sitting on my couch, surrounded by plates of leeks. He looked like he'd seen a ghost, eyes wide with fear. I figured he was just craving a drink and sat down, noticing he'd already set out bowls and chopsticks. But something was off. His body was rigid, his expression strange. "Craving a drink so bad you came to my place?" I teased. He didn't answer. "How'd you get in? Did you copy my key or climb through the window?" Old Xie stammered. You're really Wu Yu? What's with everyone today? Nobody recognizes me," I snapped. Then I choked on my beer. On the coffee table was a black and white photo of me. Old Xie had tears in his eyes. Even an idiot could see he wasn't here to drink. He was mourning me. I slammed the photo down, furious. "Old Xie, what's your deal? Why are you trying to screw me over?" He grabbed my shoulders, panicking. "Brother, don't blame me. I thought you were gone." "Bullshit," I spat. "You knew that place was bad news and sent me anyway." His eyes darted. "What happened with the package?" Seeing him play dumb, I laughed coldly. "What happened? You really gonna make me spell it out?" He faltered. "That was years ago. Nobody in the shop knows but me." "Who told you? If the package was fine, why are you mourning me, thinking I wouldn't come back?" Old Xie pushed me away, forcing calm. I was drunk talking nonsense. You believed that. I was livid. You think I'm an idiot? If you won't tell me, old Zhang will. Old Zhang. He looked confused. We don't have an old Zhang. I exploded. Don't play dumb. Old Zhang Yusheng. Old Xie collapsed onto the couch, then jumped up staring at me. Suddenly he slapped me hard, my ears ringing. You dare hit me? I roared, ready to swing back. But old Xie was shaking, pointing at me. Zhang Yusheng? What the hell are you talking about? Zhang Yusheng's been dead for years. I was stunned, unable to speak. I knew old Zhang, quiet, only showing up at night to avoid old Xie. But now old Xie was saying he was dead? It hit me. Old Xie never mentioned him, and old Zhang only appeared after dark, claiming they were partners with bad blood. My back went cold, my shirt soaked with sweat. Old Xie pressed. When did you see Zhang Yusheng? I told him everything. He sighed. Brother, Zhang Yusheng died 4 or 5 years ago. He was my partner, but he went to deliver to number 37 Lin Family Lane and never came back. I figured he was dead. I wanted to curse old Xie for sending me to a cursed place, but he continued. Before you left, didn't I ask if your fate was strong? I had someone read your fortune. You've got the heavenly pardon star in your chart. It protects you from disaster. His words left me torn between fear and relief. Maybe he was right. How else was I back here arguing with him? Old Xie looked down, chugging his beer. Take tomorrow off. Just clock in at 7 p.m. so nobody talks. We drank in silence, the alcohol tasteless. Before leaving, old Xie mentioned the raise again. I didn't respond. The next day I slept until afternoon. As I stepped out, I found a 1 yuan coin at my door. It wasn't much, but in an age of mobile payments, finding cash felt like a small win. That good mood didn't last. I couldn't stop thinking about old Zhang. A man I'd been dealing with wasn't even alive. I needed to talk to old Xie, but I'd avoid the shop at night. As dusk fell, I hurried to clock in, planning to eat and go home. I ran into old Xie heading out, looking grim, but I didn't ask why. I clocked in and was about to leave when he stopped me. I thought he wanted to talk about old Zhang, but he pointed to a corner. One more delivery. I looked and froze. The package was identical to yesterday's. When I turned back, old Xie was gone.